All right, integrated learning systems, specifically talking about scales today, and talking about the relative, major, and minor. You may be saying, "I already know this." Well, yeah, maybe you do, but maybe you don't. It could be it could be that you learned a little something, so hang about a little bit. Uh, so first of all, a C major scale is the same as a C Ionian mode, and its relative minor is the A Aeolian mode, or the A natural minor scale. The A natural minor scale, or the A Aeolian mode, and the C major scale, or the C Ionian mode, both share the identical notes, the same notes, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? All the white notes on the piano, they're shared by these two scales. But these scales, that doesn't mean that these scales are in the same key. They are not. They are in two different keys. One scale is in the key of C major, and the other scale is in the key of A minor. Okay. Now, getting back to that word that I used at the beginning, that phrase, integrated learning systems. What you want to do is, okay, now you may know this theory so far, right? And each little aspect of this theory is essential to understand. Like, understand that you're not in the same key. These keys are relative keys. They share the same notes, but they are not in the same key. That's super important. All right, now what you want to do is take this idea and break it up in the 5 regions of the fretboard. The 5 regions of the fretboard are they're naturally expressed. You know, you just have to follow the notes in the you know, if all the notes were already drawn on the fretboard, you just have to follow that. Like, think of it as like a piano keyboard. So here's C major in second position, right? And here is A minor, and A minor is going to start on the A, not the C. A is our tonal center. So there is a minor in second position, called second position because my position finger is on the second fret. All right. Now let's move up the fretboard a little bit before we move on to a couple of other ideas. C major, 5th position, and then A minor, 5th position. So clearly, even though we're playing the same notes, we're clearly not in the same key, right? We're in a minor key. Right? That does not sound like the major key, right? Different keys, same notes, different keys. Ionian mode, major scale, Aeolian mode, minor scale. C major in 7th position. C major. And then if we were to play this in a minor key, I have to start on the 6th degree of the scale. And so it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, giving me the A, right? The A here. And so now same notes, same pattern, right? And then an A minor. Okay, here's something I want to emphasize, and that is, it's easy to say, well, yeah, why? I mean, okay, so what? I mean, big deal. It's it's like basically a C major scale, and so now I'm going to start on an A instead. I know how to do that. Like, I'm going to move on to something else. I'm going to learn a lick, but that's not a good idea. Because every scale, even when I think of this, this C major scale here that I just played, it feels different and sounds different. Sounds different and feels different. And when I say feels different, I mean technically it feels different when I start in this position. Right? It's not like, oh, well, I know that scale because I know my C major scale. And as a matter of fact, because I know my C major scale, I know all of my modes too. It's only just starting on a different note. Don't fall into that trap. If you've been taught that way, unteach yourself, because that's not the way it works. Every mode is completely individual. Every mode has its own characteristics. Every mode takes a different kind of listening. And it's not just some kind of like parlor trick where you learn your scales and learn one set of major scales, and now all of a sudden you know everything. No, don't do that. So again, here's my. Right. And then 9th position, C major scale. And you can see how we're working our way up the fretboard. And there's my tonic for the C, right? But now we're going to play, start it on the A, right? I have my minor scale and a minor sound, right? When I'm improvising or writing or whatever the case it might be, I mean, what's the point of saying your modes and they all sound the same? So you have to be able to extract the characteristic of each mode. In this case, we're looking at the Aeolian mode, or as I said, the natural minor scale. And then as far as the fretboard goes, we've now gone fretboard mechanics. You see, there's different layers here. Fretboard mechanics, we're working our way up the fretboard, and now we're up here at fret 12, which is a repeat of fret 1. And here's my A minor here. Right? Right, just like the one that we started with. Okay, and now just to further integrate systems, what you should be doing in each case when you're learning the Aeolian mode, you should have the tonal centers, the diatonic. The diatonic 1, 4, and 5 chord would be a really good idea, right? So 1, 4, 5, and 1. Right? And that gives you even more. And do the same thing through each position. And you see how I'm working my way up this. And then now I'm up here. And then we're here, and so on. So in each case, what you want to do is work your way up to scale, to the point where you're also playing the chords that underlie each one of the new scales that you're learning. So what we're doing is you're integrating the C Ionian mode with the A Aeolian mode, because that's the way music works. Don't make it harder on yourself. Integrate these. Learn to speak the language on the fretboard. Learn to think on the fretboard, and then start practicing in this integrated kind of fashion. And then also put together the diatonic chords that are in the that are in each of those scale systems, whether it be C major, C, F, and G, the 1, 4, and 5, or the or A minor, D minor, E minor. See, with each one of those scales, you have a 1, 4, 5 chord, right? Super important. As a matter of fact, just for a treat, with the A minor, listen to when I. You heard that, right? That seventh going down to the seventh. Great note, right? But that note is expressed as a chord as well, which is G. And so that G chord is called the flat 7 major chord. And so that's a diatonic chord in the key of A minor. And that's a nice one to put in wherever you want to put it in. I mean, that's starting to sound like some stuff you probably heard, right? So yeah, that's called a flat 7 major chord. That's not the spelling of the chord; it's the function of the chord. Another topic, another lesson. Okay, so good. I hope that was a help for you. That was, we're a few things. Integrated learning systems, Ionian and Aeolian, different keys, but relative, meaning they share the same notes, expressed across the fretboard in the 5 different positions, both in major and the Aeolian minor, with their 1, 4, and 5 chords. That is integrated learning systems. Okay, so that's it. And so if you dug that, and it sort of, if you learned something, let us know. Click like, click subscribe. That would be great. And if there's anything you want to know, let us know. Like any existential questions or how to bake a cake, just let us know. We'd be happy to help out. And we'll see you soon.